The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time. The turtleneck. Alright, so I forgot about the timer.
Whose timer? I barely know her.
Barely know her, dude. Oh.
Fuck.
Dude.
Ow.
Good one.
I forgot that I bruised my hand
How'd you bruise your hand?
skating.
Oh.
Yeah, I was actually right before I went to Ricky's on Friday night.
Yeah.
Me and Rip went up to North Ogden and skate.
Nice.
Pissed off, he's so good.
Is he?
Oh my god, I have videos of him literally. He would go down, like he would go, you know the little, what is it called? It's like the little trapezoid one with the stairs behind it.
Yeah.
We're on that one. We go down, go up the biggest quarter pipe, turn around and do some fuck shit, right?
Right.
So he goes down, goes around the biggest quarter pipe, comes back, kick flips, lands, and just goes down at revert, like backwards, right?
I didn't know he actually was.
No, he's
Good.
he's really good. And
Oh.
he kick flips, lands it, goes backwards, and flips around, goes up again, and then he comes back and does a 180, like ollie, like 180 back, and then just goes down and comes back up again. And I was just like, I mean, that's pretty cool, dude. That was shit. That was pretty dope.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Two Brains, One Cell, guys.
Yes.
Episode 50?
54.
54.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I
he was
didn't
really
know
good.
that he actually was good at skating.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him about it.
Then we went to the one next to their house because I've never been to that one before.
Yeah. How's that?
And we got there, and immediately I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to do shit here,"
Yeah.
because it's like
Is it
instead of a
bunch of-
quarter pipe,
It's just tall
a
ramps.
half type.
A half type?
It's one single half pipe, and then like a slant one that has this weird spine one, and then another quarter pipe. And then just this little like I don't know, the whole place. It was a weird setup.
Yeah.
It was very cheap, and like scooter bikes, all that kind of stuff, and people that are really good on skateboards, all for them. But someone like me that's just mediocre,
Yeah.
not the best place for me.
See, again, this year I would like to try and get better at skating again, but I don't know where to do it with, especially without embarrassing myself.
That's why
'Cause
I
I
like
Fucking suck.
I like going to the streets,
Yeah.
like 25th Street, because then you can fuck around and do your own thing. But then like when we go to North Ogden, if we just stay late, we should be fine.
True.
Not that very many people.
I think I just need you to teach me how to do a fucking ollie, because I think in my lifetime I've landed maybe 5.
It's pretty easy. I've actually Rip complimented me on my ollies.
Good shit.
Yeah. That's what I think I noticed when me and him were skating, is the difference between skating with him and skating with all the other guys that I skate with that are really good is they would all critique me and be like, "Oh, you should try doing this, or maybe do this and this and this." But instead he would go, "Shit, dude, your ollie, the pop that you have on your ollie, you could probably kickflip. You should give it a try."
See, and that is awesome.
That's way more than trying to like get me to do something precise that works for them. Just tell me that I should try doing something like this,
yeah.
and then let me figure it out. And then if they notice something big that I'm doing wrong, then
Then
you can tell me.
yeah.
But he was being very nice about it, and it helped me
Good.
because I actually almost landed nose grind that I've never done before in my life, and like a whole bunch of other stuff that he was like, "You could probably do this," and I was like, "Shit, I'll give it a shot." And then I would almost land it, and I'm like, "Fuck,
Fuck.
okay." Like that's all I needed was him to just be like, "You could probably do that,"
Yeah.
and then do it once or something, or even not even do that specifically once, just do something close to it, and I'd be like, "I'll give it a shot." And but anyway, we go to that small one over there,
yeah.
and we get out. And we're walking to the park from the parking lot, and I look over and I go, "I think that's Ethan's house." And I'm like, and I like lean a little bit further to see, because I remember his house has a shop in the backyard, so we can work on their cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I lean over and see just the corner of the shop in the background, and I'm like, oh, "That's Ethan's house,
He lives next to the skate park?
right across the street."
What?
It goes his house, and then like just some fucking stuff over here,
I didn't
and then
know
across
he was
the street.
right there.
He's right there. Yeah, he's in Ricky's block.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I call him on Snapchat and I go, "Hey, do you still live, by the over here?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Okay, so I'm across the street." And he goes, "What?" And he starts looking out his window, and he can see me through his window, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I see you."
Oh my god.
And he was like, "I was literally about to go take a poop." He was like, "I stood up, I turned my TV off, I stood up and went to go take a poop, and you called me."
Nice.
And we had this little conversation, and he's like, "Do you want me to come say hi?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, I'll get dressed." And so then me and Rip were kind of fucking around, and then he comes out, and then me and him were talking. We're just getting caught up, you know. And I would see. I don't know what's been bugging my nose this entire time that you've been over here.
There's
that left nostril.
There's something bugging my throat right now. It's probably all the cum you put in there.
No.
Yeah.
And so in between me and Ethan like talking, I'd go and do something at the skate park just for like a hot second.
Yeah.
And I did one where I just went up this little tiny little thing, did an ollie, and was riding back down. And then I did that little revert thing I do. You know, I slide around. So I'm riding the correct way now. And I was like, all right. And then I went to do another revert, so I'm now going back the other way again. But it stopped at the 90 degrees, so my board was not going any direction that my momentum was.
Yeah.
And so I flew off of it.
You just go.
Yeah, I went, whoop, and just flew off the end of it, and I landed. So I went backwards.
I'm just imagining. I want to make a skateboard where I could just go.
And just be riding that way.
The wheels are still facing this way,
Yeah.
but somehow I'm just.
And I fell backwards, so I'm now like looking at the sky like, oh fuck. And I put my arm back, and I'm lucky I didn't break anything, and I just smacked the living shit out of my palm, and it was just this area around my thumb right here.
It's always that, just the fucking.
And I have a picture of it. I will have to show you the bruise that I had from that. It was so dark and purple right there.
I bet.
And so clapping, it hurt. So there's that rant for you guys. Oh, and by the way, I invited him over to Ricky's, and he actually showed up.
Oh, nice.
And then I think he really enjoyed it, and he might have to be coming around a lot more.
Good shit.
As long as he's not working. He even worked the next day, and he was over there hanging out with us, just having a blast.
Good.
And we met a new guy that Logan brought over that's a little bit younger than us, but he's pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Everyone was mad at you for not showing up.
That's fine.
Were you on a date?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No. I went to a family party, and then I left the family party, and I'm like, honestly, I want to go home. So I went home.
Oh. I think Landon said that you were on a date or something, and I was like, shit, okay.
No, I was supposed to have a date that weekend. Then the girl just never came over.
Rude.
And then she was supposed to come over last night, and then she just never came over. So
Good.
I think I'm starting to, give up on it.
Yeah, you know, this girl that I had been talking to for a little bit, you know her. She's been leaving me undelivered for 24 hours at a time. Yeah. So, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I guess we could probably get to the million things that I wrote down.
I almost lost my cool there.
Close one.
That was a close one.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Don't you when that happens?
Now there's a million of them.
No, I'd rather talk about something else that's not there.
Anything else. So we're going to talk about literally anything else
literally
that's not
anything
on the board.
but what's on the board.
We could talk about how last episode when I ripped ass into the microphone a couple times, and I put it on my Snapchat story, how Mom was like I showed her the clip, and she just was, for a solid 20 seconds, was standing in the kitchen just going, just jaw on the floor. And I was like, what?
What?
And I had moved away from her. The clip ended, and I had moved away from her and started doing something with food, and she was still standing over there like that. And so I was like, what? And she's like, Carson, did you really fart into the microphone? And I go, yeah. And she goes, what if your future girlfriend sees that? And I'm like, if she doesn't think farts are funny, then I don't fucking want her.
Yeah. And that's a fucking fact.
And then she goes, oh, that's true. I was like, if farts aren't funny to my future girlfriend, then I don't know if it's going to work out.
It's not going to work.
I think
And the thing is, I don't even fart, but if they don't think it's funny, what the fuck?
Yeah,
'Cause when Carson does it, it's
exactly.
hilarious.
I was going to say, in your case, if I fart and they don't like it, then it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
If you fart and the girl I'm with goes, ew, and I'm like, bitch.
And then you just go right in her face
And
and
then
just fucking. And then you just cup of cheese and just throw it right in her face.
Cupcake.
Um,
I gotta say, the clips and how you set it up fucking killed me.
It was such a good
when I
all
watched
the way to it.
because it was just the zooms, and then my face just,
Yeah, because it didn't work the first time.
and then just the immediate back to you. Made me fucking cackle, dude. I'm so glad you did that.
It was great timing too, talking the whole episode about ripping ass, and then at the very end, I actually had some in me. You know what's funny is actually yesterday I did eat beans, but it has not It did. Okay, so it did hit me this morning or last night. It did hit me, and I was ripping them real quaintly, like.
I'm in the danger zone.
The danger zone.
General.
Um,
Okay, I think we should talk about Arizona.
Arizona. Yes, we bought our flights and we bought our tickets to the show in Arizona.
Sure did.
But the hotel that I had in mind that was cheap, 14 minutes away from the venue, and looked cool. Had a pool. It would have been a 2-bed for under $100 a night-ish, kind of, without fees and stuff.
But it just so happens.
That you have to be 21 to be there.
Bullshit.
And we are 20.
We are 20. You have to. You can buy a hotel room at 18, but you have to be 21 to check in. What? How the fuck does that make sense?
And then that worried me. So I looked at our tickets for the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if the venue is fucking 21 plus?
I'd kill myself.
And I started getting anxiety. It was actually while I was building the Thor's hammer, like the hold for it or something. I was building the base for it. And then I sat there and I went to put a Lego on and I went, oh, and immediately pulled out my phone.
Just
and
that
was
moment
like,
of like
fuck.
your heart drops.
Yeah, it literally, I could feel it just
Yeah.
like, and I was like, oh.
Just sink to your nutsack.
Yeah.
Sperm cramp. Sperm cramp.
And I Googled it, and nothing on their website says anything about being 21 plus to be in there.
Good.
And so I think we're clear on that. Our flights and our ticket is working, but then I think our next option is, it wasn't Airbnb, but it was a different one that Mom had showed me. I'll have to ask her again for it.
Okay.
I did look at other ones, but I was like back and forth because I've been doing so much shit this week.
Yeah.
But it is happening. We are going to be in Arizona. Whether or not we are sleeping on a park bench somewhere,
Yeah.
we will be in Arizona.
You do what you gotta fucking do. All right. I'll be
And-
homeless for a couple days.
I mean, it'll be what, 2 nights? We'll be fine.
I've done worse.
Yeah.
I've done worse. All right. Just bring a tent.
Yeah, you know what? Just bring a sleeping bag. Remember when I did that when we went camping? I did fine.
Fuck it.
It'll be in Arizona. We'll be warm enough.
True. I'm fine
You
with
know
it.
what? Let's just sleep in line at the venue.
Should I just see if we can pack the Jeep into the back?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's just get one of those those freight fucking planes.
Exactly.
Just hop on one of those.
Just hop on
Let's
one
get
of
out of
those,
here,
yeah.
dude. You know what? Let's get on one of those ferries that you can park your car on, and
Right.
we'll just we'll go around
Yeah.
from
well-
California down to the Gulf of Texas.
Oh no, I was just gonna put it on a ferry on the Great Salt Lake and have
that
it
would
shipped
take us
over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be good. That'd be good.
That would put us all the way in Arizona.
It'd be
right?
perfect. Yeah, I think it goes down there.
Yeah, I think
You just follow the
if you just
lines. I think
the lines.
it's
yeah.
like aren't those rivers or something?
Probably.
I think
yeah.
that's how it works.
I think that's
you
how
just
it
follow
works.
the border down there,
Exactly.
yeah.
That they made that for a convenience factor.
I think
right?
that's
Yeah,
exactly.
I think
It's like what's the one thing that crosses through
a crosswalk.
no, it starts with a P and all the boats go through it. Fuck. I can't remember what it's called.
P? You mean a
Pink penis dildo.
a canal?
It's the canal, like it's the biggest one,
Oh, I have no idea.
and it goes through like the bottom of
Isn't it where that huge fucking ship got like sideways?
stuck. Yeah, that's that one.
Okay.
That canal.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Do you want me to clap today? You know what? That would be great.
Thank you.
I clap.
It was the
Okay,
Panama.
I'm tangled.
Canal.
I'm tangled. Fuck.
Oh.
Got it.
We're good. It was the Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
And it was funny because I stood up to go turn the camera on, and I literally went, ah! It was the Panama Canal! I just knew it. It just had a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds, I would have had it.
He would have had it. He would have had it, and he did have it.
Yep. We just take the border down to the canal, and we should be fine.
Exactly.
I think that's how it works.
I think that's how it works.
And then where did Nemo go? Wasn't that Australia? Sydney. We got to go to Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I forgot we had to stop by there. Damn it.
You know, but it was nice, though. Our flights are no stops, straight there. And last episode,
At 6 a.m.
I said that it was 30 minutes. I didn't realize there was a time change. It's not 30 minutes.
And Carson's like, dude, we leave at 6 and get there at 6:30. That's sick.
I was like, that's awesome, because I've been on flights across the country where it takes hours, and I have to like really entertain myself for a very long time on a plane. And so I was like, a 30-minute fucking flight? What the hell? And we're going to get on the plane and have time to pull out, like, barely get the SpongeBob movie started before we get there.
I won't even have enough time to get through the SpongeBob movie.
We'll get to the Goofy Goober scene and not even make it past that, man.
Just imagine in a plane, you're like, I'm a Goofy Goober.
Oh, we're already there? Damn it.
Fuck.
And
you're just like, when everyone's off the plane, you're just still,
sit down!
you're still sitting there just like in the dark on the plane. I'm a Goofy Goober.
No one's allowed to leave the plane until I finish the fucking movie! I'm a Goofy Goober, yeah. We're all Goofy Goobers,
Yeah, one guy in the back like, oh, we're going to be here for forever!
The pilot gets on and he goes, "Oh, brother, this guy stinks!"
No, he gets on the intercom.
Welcome
to Bikini Bottom.
We're having a bit of a delay here, folks.
The
The passenger...
the co-pilot needs to finish his SpongeBob movie.
Our autopilot is currently playing the SpongeBob movie and will not let us land until it's over.
Hey, sorry guys, I just kind of don't feel like flying right now. Imagine they got on and did that and be like,
I really don't feel like leaving yet.
guys, I kind of just want to take a fucking smoke break.
Y'all mind if I open a window up here? He's all...
Yeah, his face is like getting ripped off.
It's like the little window out there, yeah. And he's like, come on, it won't light. Hey, can you help me with this? The pilot's just like, hold on, I just get that for you.
A bird fucking flies in the window. Pigeon in the cockpit.
He just sucks into the window, which is funny because that's not how that would work.
No. But fuck you.
But yeah, I found out that there is a time zone change into Arizona. I thought it just went straight down. I thought everything in our area just went straight down the country for some reason. So I thought it was more of like a lateral or a longitudinal move.
Longitudinal?
It's a word. It's not, but can we get a word check?
Can we get yo, it's been a minute. Can we get a word check?
No, not longitudinal. That's a different. That will pull up something, but not what we want.
Longitudinal.
Longitudinal, please.
Miss
All right, he can't type, so
longitudinal tool.
Longitudinal tool.
It's the Miss
Yeah.
longitudinal tool. Hot dog, diggity.
I was thinking longitude, not latitude, and I thought that the time zones went straight down. And boy, did I find out.
How do you think time zones work?
I just kind of didn't question it.
Okay.
Because I thought that like the time zone was like, first of all, I didn't think that Canada was affected for some reason. I thought it was just the United States. And I thought that like Canada was its own time zone thing. Like it had its own thing going. Because you know how we have like the metric, or not the metric. Wait, what do we have?
Imperial.
We have the Imperial. What, the Imperial? Shit, dude. Darth Vader? Fuck.
Fuck. We got the Imperial
Darth
system.
Vader's out here just going inches.
Dude, this episode is so cursed. This is so cursed.
That's about 4 feet. Measuring shit with his lightsaber.
No, it's not a lightsaber, just an actual fucking measuring
It's
tape
a tape
comes out.
measurer comes out.
Yeah. Yep, 7 and 13/16. This item is not a square.
Size doesn't matter. Anyway,
Okay, that Darth Vader inches joke is gonna be a banger for forever.
But yeah, I thought Canada did its own thing because we have the imperial system, and you know the other places have the metric system.
Everywhere else in the world does metric.
Yeah, so I thought that America had our own time zones, and Canada was on its own. Like it did its own thing. Like it still had time zones, but they did it their own way.
It's 1 o'clock here, and it's like 7 a.m. for
It's
them.
like 7 geese up there or something. Like it's four moose or something.
Their clock is just 2 numbers.
No, it's just like different animals, and then like their like the maple leaf.
It's about half after moose.
Hey, what time is it? Goose o'clock.
Like, no, they have a clock, but it's just 2 things: day and night.
I toss and turn.
Day and night.
So I thought they did their own thing. So that was excluded. Same thing with Mexico.
I can't
excluded.
I can't blame you because the Canadians' money is called loonies and toonies, and I'm not fucking with you on that. The toonie is a $2 coin.
That's amazing.
It is.
And so
I want to go back to the Loonies and Toonies. Imagine getting mugged in Canada.
Give me your loonies and toonies. Give me all your loonies and toonies.
I don't know why it turned. You're in Canada getting robbed by some New York and like.
Hey, give me all
fucking-
your Loonies and Toonies, bud.
Hey, can you give me all your fucking loonies and toonies? I swear to God.
Hey, bud, I'll give you a case of beer if you give me all your Loonies and Toonies.
If you don't give me all your fucking loonies and toonies, I'll give you another. I'll give you 2 things to think about. 1, I'll be dropping your pants, and 2, I'll be deep throating your cock.
Canadians are just Letterkenny accents.
That's all. Yeah, every time. I mean, that's when I go to Canada later.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
That's all I'm gonna think
And
of.
as a matter of fact, all I'm doing in Canada is buying all of the bagged milk.
yeah, I know. Someone said that when we were talking about it with our family. They're like, I can't wait to go into a store and see the bagged milk.
I want it. I want bagged milk.
I was like, am I gonna walk in there and be repulsed, or am I gonna be so intrigued that I'm gonna buy some and chug a bag of milk?
I'm going to play slap bag with a bag of milk. Strong as bones. Strong as bones.
But okay, back to the time zones. I thought Canada and Mexico were on their own shit. Like I thought that they were because I thought that maybe they all just have a universal time zone thing. You know, like.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know why. So I just thought that the United States was its own thing, and for some reason I thought it was just separated by like 4 lines down the United States, and it was like this, you know, like we've got California on one side and you've got the whole East Coast on the other side. They're 2 separate ones, and then it's just a little divided up in amongst the middle going down.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know, like Idaho, Utah, Arizona, like all of this was all one singular time zone. And same with like you could just go down the line into Texas is all one time zone. And the entire East Coast is one. Like that's what I thought. So then when we were looking at that and it was an hour and 30-minute flight, I was like, no,
that's
6:30.
30 minutes.
That doesn't make sense.
And then the way back was like 6:30 to 9:45.
Yeah, 9:40. And I was like,
No.
what the fuck?
Carson was like, what? I'm like, what do you mean?
It didn't make sense to me. It was 6:45 to 9:30 is what it was.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was like, that doesn't make sense. That's not a 30-minute flight. And then for a minute, I was like, that's not even an hour and 30 minutes either. And I was like, oh, okay, hold on.
wait.
Yeah, that was yeah.
That's really funny.
It's a lapse in judgment.
Okay, Logan Paul, we're not going to Japan.
Okay, YouTuber.
Okay.
Okay, Minecraft YouTubers.
So, guys, how is that? Rate my opening to YouTuber
Did you
apology.
just say rape my opening?
Rate with a T. T.
We're from Utah. We don't say T's.
Oh shit!
Rape my opening, Cade.
Oh god!
Hey guys. Okay, bye. Just kidding. Now, this is a disclaimer. The next bit that you're about to see, I used my editing powers to make Cade look like a really bad person. And I just want you to hear first, before you see what I did, I want you to hear first that he did not actually say anything bad, but I made it sound like he did. So, here you go.
You're done.
You're not. Utahns cannot say this word.
5 things Utahns can't say.
Whoa!
I'm gonna bleep that too.
Please do. Oh god, no, that's gonna make me look so bad. That's gonna make me look so bad.
Now we can bring Trace on the podcast.
True. He's in Pocatello.
Speaking of this, I had.
I'm not racist.
That's what they all say.
Fuck. Hey, you can't do that. I did that to Mac.
Oh yeah.
That's something a racist would say.
Speaking of funny, so Brady, you remember Brady?
Yep.
She slid up on the Instagram, the clip that I had put on Instagram. I had put up my story, and she slid up on my story, and she said, "These are literally the best thing. I love these." And I was like, I'm glad someone else appreciates them because I think it's so funny. She's like, you don't even know. And I was like, because especially when we get done recording, I have full control over editing. So he usually doesn't see what happens until I'm done editing or like, you know, something like that.
It's true.
Which was so funny. And then Maya.
Hey.
Hey.
Wait. No.
And then, like I told you earlier, Maya was like, your podcast is so funny. And so I was like, shit, dude.
We're funny.
Are we funny?
We're funny.
Are we funny?
Dude,
we're funny as fuck, dude.
We're funny as
But now that we talked about it, it became meta and we're not funny anymore.
It's true. The past 20 minutes has been total AIDS. So
we were talking about Arizona.
we were.
That's happening, just so you know.
Oh yeah. By the way, we're going to Arizona. We got our flights booked and everything.
Yeah, but did you know the time zones are different?
Did you know, by the way, that it's not split into
It's
just quadrants?
It's inches.
Feet.
That's something Vader would say. I bet you he's a foot kind
He's a
of guy.
foot kind of guy.
I got two things that would be really quick.
Beta
Pod speed brain I wrote down because last
Where?
episode, it's very top corner.
Oh.
Last episode I said falled or free falled or something instead of free falling or anything like that. And whenever we mispronounce something and we don't catch it or we say something really fucking stupid, it's usually because on the podcast we are in like an infinite free fall of improv. So we have to kind of blow past our accidental things unless it's really big and really funny.
Like, I slur my words a lot, and I've done it.
Slur a lot.
I slur a ton. Like, I said, like, just barely a little bit ago, I was like, everything.
And we're not only are we trying to say things quickly because we have a lot to talk about, or that we want to say something because it's funny, we got to get it out right then and there.
Yeah.
It's that we are trying to be quick on our feet and improv and all this kind of stuff. So when we say stupid things like that or something, we usually acknowledge them after the fact.
True.
And we just want to let you know that we are stupid, but not that stupid.
We're not
most of the time.
Most of the time, we're not that dumb. But it is true that while we're recording, our brains are going about 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, we're trying to stay on our feet, stay funny, and like, okay,
Motherfucker.
That's when SpongeBob gets ice cream wasted. Timer. I know, I forgot to stop it earlier.
Okay, so forgot what we were talking about. Oh, okay. Too quick. So the pod speed brain, that happens. Just so y'all know. The other thing I wanted to talk about is IKEA again, because I forgot to mention it was.
This is a key. Oh.
All right, shut the fuck up, you piece of shit, motherfucker. You.
I can just imagine.
No, it's got to be the Rick and Morty, like the sad, evil Morty. That. But IKEA again because they filmed an entire TV show in there without being caught once, and it has Randall Park. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's a somewhat famous actor now, and he was like one of the stars on the TV show. There's like zombies, and like they do an entire thing, and it's a full show. I think it's like 30 minutes total of the whole show.
Yeah.
But they were like in the beds and stuff like that, and you can hear the crowds of people in the background where they're like sitting there and they're acting like they're in bed and they're like talking to each other and stuff. You can hear the crowds everywhere. And then they have like it's a soap opera is what it is. So it's like dramatic. And they just do so many funny tropes and make fun of it. It's so funny. And it was all filmed in IKEA.
Where'd you see this?
YouTube. It's on.
Okay.
I have the thing saved.
Gotcha.
It's all on there. And it was filmed. There was actually a couple actors on there that are famous-ish. And they filmed the whole thing without being caught once.
Huh.
Yeah, a whole TV show without being caught.
Do you think that those workers get fired?
You know, I don't know.
You know, like, you got to think that they probably are getting people fired.
It depends on how good the TV show is. Like, if it's a good show and these IKEA, like the people that work there are like, wait a minute, is that our store? They're like,
Wait.
oh, but this is actually kind of funny. Like, I don't know. And but I just wanted to mention that since we talked about it last episode that they filmed an entire TV show in there without getting caught. So I'm
That's
sure
pretty
that
funny.
people could actually live in an IKEA for a lot longer than what we have found out.
Oh, yeah. There's got to be someone in an IKEA
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's got to be.
All right, what's next?
Inches. Let's talk about your photo shoot.
Oh, yeah, the Celsius photo shoot.
Yeah.
promo code. Doing it again.
Promo
Okay.
code Fat Nuts.
I was sitting down here yesterday, Thursday night, sitting down here, not knowing what the fuck to do with myself. And I've been feeling really artsy lately, very
Yeah.
creative and artsy. And so I was like, you know, since Liquid Death, the whole thing fell out, which, like we've said a million times before, we still love Liquid Death.
Love
We're
'em.
still going to drink it. I'm going to be ordering the peach ones next paycheck. And actually, Takara bought some, and she said if she didn't like it, she would give them to me.
Nice.
if
Well,
that happens, we will
hopefully
have
she
some.
likes some.
Right.
I feel like if she doesn't like them and you get them, that's still bad.
Oh, and by the way, the watermelon one, like, officially dropped in cases,
Oh, it
like,
did?
this week. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's been so hard to find, is because they finally, like, they dropped the cases of them.
I'll have to see if my mom will grab some for us because she goes to Harmon's all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not amazing.
Okay. But so I was sitting down here, and then I was like, well, I write a list down at work every week of just things that I got to do that week and things I want to talk about on the podcast that I write down on here. And one of them was I want to look at photo marketing ideas so that, like, I can get a brand that I can, because that's what I want to do is commercial photography. I have an award for commercial photography, and I've said it a million times on here. But I've been wanting to find something that I can do it, and since I don't know anyone with a brand that has small things or, like, rings or something, like, I can't really do that with the little light box I have where I could do commercial photography stuff. So
I might actually have a friend that needs.
fuck, hook me up. And I was even thinking, like, if
Remember-
people do 3D printing stuff,
I do 3D printing.
like, like as a business though, like, you know, if they could just give me something they 3D printed, I can throw it in that light box and take cool photos of it.
True.
And I was like, I wonder if I could do video stuff and make a commercial, because I've got the great editing software and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was like, well, I know that Celsius, just like, it was weird because Liquid Death has their own sponsor thing, but apparently they don't sponsor. By the way, on that, Imaginary Friends, the band that Felipe's in, they posted something and said that they were trying to get, like, Liquid Death to sponsor them or something. And I texted them and I was like, good fucking luck. And then I was like, they told us they don't sponsor. And they were like, they don't? And I was like, but you keep trying because
Keep
we
trying.
might have just got lied to.
Oh, we want.
And-
they sponsor TMG.
That's what I thought. And then, like,
TMG has literally said this episode is sponsored by Liquid Death.
Steve-O,
Liars.
Steve-O got a tattoo of water on his neck that is Liquid Death.
Yeah.
And he's an ambassador for him.
Yeah.
So I
They
was like, I
they
think
sponsor people.
he was trying to let us down nicely
Yeah.
that they don't sponsor us. And
They
so I
don't
was like,
sponsor people that don't have a following.
so I was like, you guys keep trying. You never know what'll fucking happen. And then I saw that, like, Garrett, that a guy I always talk about Snapchat, he actually is sponsored by Celsius. He does stuff for them all the time. So I was like, maybe that one I can get them to do it.
Yeah, and
And-
Carson's already been drinking them for
Oh yeah,
a while.
Mom showed them to me actually before I even knew they existed. Mom had one. She's like, "You want to try this?" It was the orange one actually.
No, it's pretty good.
And so I was like, "Oh, give it a shot." I actually emailed them a while ago, but it didn't go anywhere. So I was like, "All right." And I told this to Ethan. I said, "I'm just gonna take to the socials."
Yep.
And so I posted on my Instagram story of, like, the setup, and they liked the story, which was cool.
Very cool.
And then I took a couple pictures of them. I couldn't figure out how to use this light box. It was my first time, and it's just got, like I had said, which we'll get into, but there's, like, exposed LEDs on it, and, like, you can flip the box any which way, and it comes with backgrounds, and it comes with, like, different pockets to open to take pictures through, and it's so cool.
That's really cool.
And so I took these pictures. I only liked a couple of them that I liked editing the way I did, and some of them, like, the crop was weird. So I only posted like 3 of them in a collage, posted them on my stories and whatnot. And apparently everyone is a photographer and knows exactly what to do, because I had tens of fucking millions of people sliding up on my Snapchat saying, you should have added spritzing some water on it, get water
know.
drops on
I
it.
swear to God, all you motherfuckers think you need to do to make a can look good is put condensation or water on the outside. It takes fucking more than that.
And I wanted so bad to tell every single person that said that. I was like, well, you know what my original plan was? To have sand inside the light box and have it look like it's stuck sideways in the sand, and, like, I would have spritzed on it and, like, all this kind of stuff. I was like, I had a way better plan for this. But you know what happened? I had the idea all sitting on my fucking computer. drove to Maverick, grabbed 2 of them, came back, put them in the light box, and just started fucking around. That's it.
Yeah,
this
it's
wasn't a very legitimate photo session.
Had the idea 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I told Takara, I said I did the photo shoot in 30 minutes, edited them in 10 minutes, and was completely done with everything in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a very try hard, or else I would have done that. I was like, I could have even like flicked water on it if I wanted to, but I was like, I didn't want to do that because there's exposed fucking LEDs in there. Like you can see the circuitry like on my lights up here. You could see the circuitry on it and shit. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Everyone was sliding up, and the last person to do it was Kyle. And he said, this would have looked better if you put like water droplets on it. Try spraying it on there. And I just responded to him with, oh my hell. And went right to my story and was like, you motherfuckers.
Oh my hell.
I've been doing this for years. And it just pissed me off.
I know people are like, oh, I'm being helpful. You're not.
And here's the thing. Damien slid up. And when he said it, I told him, I actually went and texted him after I posted on my story. And I was like, by the way, story's not geared towards you because he's a photographer. He was sponsored before.
Yeah.
So I was like, he is a photographer. I said, my story's not about you. I actually respect your opinion. But no one else's because that shit is ridiculous.
And that matters. Damien's a fucking photographer.
Yeah.
That's an opinion that matters. People who don't know shit about cameras, shut up.
Fuck off.
Shut up.
Just fuck off.
I don't know anything about cameras, so I'm like, I like how they look.
And here's the thing is I understand from a perspective of not doing photography and knowing like, oh, that would probably look cool with it.
Yeah.
Because that's usually when I get inspiration for things, I'm like, it'd look cool. And then I do that. But in this case, I just fucked around,
Yeah.
And I fucking found out, I guess.
For real.
But that pissed me off. That was a little bullshit that really just grinded my gears. Really buttered my fucking biscuit.
Speaking about grinding gears, the Jeep.
Here we go.
I gotta let him get comfy first.
Continue.
Do you want a lullaby first?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if
I don't like birds.
And if that mockingbird don't sing, Papa's gonna buy you a diamond ring.
Shit, you gonna wife me up?
Yeah!
Shit. Okay.
But if that diamond ring does rust, Papa's gonna buy you a fucking bus. I don't know, I forgot the rest of the words.
A bus?
You want a bus?
I want a bus.
Do you want a bus?
I want a bus.
Okay, I'll get you a bus.
All right. But not a Jeep.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
Oh, I'm asleep. I'm asleep.
I'm asleep. So basically, my Jeep, I'll keep this quick. Shut the fuck up, Carson. I can see and hear you laughing. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. But I was gonna lower it to like try and fix the wobbles, and then I take it to my work. I get it lifted up a little bit. I lift it up by the control arm, and I'm like, maybe I should like. My boss is like there with me. He's like, that doesn't exactly look like your problem. Let's like check your joints and shit. And sure enough, I lift up one side by the bottom control arm, shake the fucking wheel, and I'll send Carson the video so we can put it in the podcast. Stop laughing! Shut up! But yeah, my tire rod ends were fucking shot. So is the bushing in my upper control arm, and my entire tire rod is gonna be bad. And my ball joints. So basically, everything that can give you death wobbles, I have. But I already have a lot of the parts I need, so I'm gonna fix it next week. It's gonna be great, and it'll work. You can wake up now. I'm done. So my Jeep.
Shit, that was a good nap.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
What should we what should we talk about over here?
I'm not done talking about my Jeep, actually.
Should we talk about dark comedy that I wrote down?
So, what I'm going to do with it. Yes, let's talk about that.
I had this epiphany at work, and not Tiffany, epiphany. Fuck Tiffany. So
Then why the fuck am I here? What?
I was at work and I was sitting there and I was like, it'd be really funny because I was thinking about like. So, I even told this to Mom the other day. I said, I think in different conditions, like if I wasn't born in Utah, I was born in like California, New York, or something like that. I was like, I think I probably would have become a stand-up comedian. Like, I think I would have tried to.
If you were in like an actual bigger city,
Right,
that had
in a place
comedy scene.
where a comedy scene is actually a real thing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I talked about a couple episodes ago. That one comedy place,
Yeah.
Happy Valley Comedy.
Happy Valley. I've never heard of that.
They have some pretty funny clips on Instagram, so
How far away is
go
it?
check them out. I don't know. I didn't look it up yet.
Fair enough.
It's probably a hop, a skip, and a fucking leap away. But
I would assume that we would drive.
I was like, it would be funny to like
Happy Valley, what?
comedy. So I was like, I wonder how that would be. I was like, I wonder what like kind of comedy I would have done, and like what it like just thinking like a what if of what I possibly would have done. Is it like in butt fucking nowhere?
It's nowhere.
Weird.
I actually don't think they have an address.
Well, they
What the fuck?
have some funny people on there.
Where
It
are
might be
you?
on yeah, I was gonna say it might be their Instagram. Might have it somewhere.
Oh yeah, you're following them.
Yeah. So I was trying to think of like what kind of comedy styling I would do and how funny it would be as a stand-up comedian. And then because I had this idea at work, which I'll get to,
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Misfits stand-up comedy thing that they did. So fucking funny. That was so funny. What?
I
Do
don't
they move?
think this is a place.
It's a
It's a
group?
it's a source to find comedies, like comedy people, like supporting local
interesting.
comedians.
Okay.
Yeah, so like these are all at different places,
Okay.
different comedians. That's actually way cooler.
Because they had a Utah one that I was looking at, and it was somewhere in buttfuck. I know that for
Yeah,
sure.
like this one's in Provo.
Oh yeah, that
Stand-up.
might have been it actually. And it's a stand-up. They do like the open mics and stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's what I was like. We could just find, go down there just to see the comedy
Yeah.
scene one time.
$7.
$7, yeah.
That's
Stand up
easy.
on the spot. Is that what that is?
Yeah,
So cool.
it's Provo. It's not that far.
Not bad.
It's
Not as far as I thought.
It's not
initially.
close, but it's
Yeah.
not that far.
I watched their YouTube video, The Misfits, and God, dude, that was so
it's
funny.
so good.
So funny.
It was a really
like
funny
Mason eating a cigarette. Oh my God, that was so funny.
Was it Swagger who just walked off stage and then came back on?
Yeah, he was talking about like the stand-up comedy thing, and he was talking about watching Family Guy and how he's like the cut scene, and he was like,
And then he just
like that one time when I had to walk back on stage, and then he's paused and then walked off stage, and then they played his music, and he came back out
Yep.
again. Yeah, so that was so
the
funny.
judge was like, "You can't cut scene."
yeah, in the comedy, yeah. So funny. And so then that just made me, it just boosted my ego more, that I was like, and it's a lot harder, but I, in my head, was like, I could totally do that.
I could totally do that.
It was one of those moments where it's, my toxic trait is that I think I could totally be a stand-up comedian.
My toxic trait is wanting to punch you in the face after doing that voice.
That's not a toxic trait. I think that's just a good trait.
Okay, I was about to say, is that normal?
That's normal.
Okay,
That's a
good.
green flag.
Okay. It's like, you should have hit me.
I think that's not a green flag. That's no flag. That's just a goal. That's a good point.
That's a good, good morals. Good morals on this guy.
And so my thought at work was, how funny would it be if I'm doing a stand-up routine and I'm like, I really think that dark comedy is hilarious. Like if I'm a comedian and I'm on stage and I start talking about, let's say this,
And it's just, you can't see the crowd. Super dark in there. Love it.
and I go, let's get into some dark comedy, and the entire lights, everything shuts off for a second.
Yep.
And then it comes back though, and I'm holding someone in my arms going,
Why, God? Why? Why? Why did you have to kill him?
And it should no. It's
He was an orphan.
it's a random crowd member that you just grab. And he's just like,
And I was like, I think that might crush.
dude, that would be hilarious.
And I was like, see, that might be my comedy where I mix in some like actual bits like that.
Yeah, that would be so funny.
Because there's like storytelling comedy where you tell a story from your life that you kind of add on to, you like fictionize it in a weird way and like all this kind of stuff.
Which we sort of do on here, but we don't fictionize it. Our story's just weird. Our shit's just crazy.
It's more just what the fuck. And so I was like, that would be a great bit to bring into real life.
true.
And then I was like, doing something like that, or maybe trying to do some like prop comedy, but in ways that this other guy that I follow, I can't remember his name. Phone call.
That's
Who?
my boss.
Oh shit.
We might want to pause.
I'll turn everything off. Comedy.
Sorry about that, guys. Had to talk to my boss.
Business.
No, it was literally about the Jeep. I parked it in the wrong spot. He's letting me like keep it there so I don't have to drive it again until it's fixed. So yeah, I'm done talking about it. I bought a Jeep.
I bought a Jeep. No, so with the dark comedy thing, like I just thought it would be so funny to do bits, and I had said, there's this guy, I can't remember his name, but he does this thing where he'll like pull something out of his pocket. Like this one time, this fucking killed me. Okay, it's a clip on Instagram, and he just pulls out a harmonica out of his pocket and just goes harmonicas, throws it. And then he keeps talking, and he does something else, and then he pulls out a second harmonica, blows it, and throws it again. Like, he just has so many. And then another one, he pulled out a picture of Grimace, but like buff Grimace, and like, and he was like, "Where were you on 9/11?" Like, he was just doing like random shit, and then he just throws it, like he's done with it. And then that's like, and he just always does this kind of thing, and he's like, "Oh, Jar Jar Binks," but with really big, like his comedy, his comedy is so fucking out of pocket, and it makes me lose my shit. And so I was
Does
like,
the crowd like it typically?
oh my god, they crush it. Well,
Okay.
it depends. Some crowds are like, what in the fuck is going on? And other crowds, they are crying and wheezing and can't breathe.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I wonder if like doing something like that where I just pull something out of my pocket, like a harmonica, and just and just throw it into the crowd like they want it.
Imagine just pulling out like a whole automaton or something.
But I thought that was so funny, like the dark comedy thing.
That would
just
be
such a great bit.
pretty damn good.
Why?
Just makes me think of the why God why.
Yeah. Look, Mario.
A mystery blooch.
And then I wanted to talk about this plasma and ionic thrusters that I wrote down.
Ionic thrusters.
We're gonna take a real big flip here, okay?
What is this? Fucking
So,
Subnautica?
This one account that I found, this guy, it looks like he's building some sort of like time machine in his garage,
Oh.
especially with the way that it's like set up, where things are taped and glued and welded in a weird way,
Yeah.
and it's producing plasma in the coolest way possible. Like I went through an entire rabbit hole of his account, watching him build it from like the first one, and how he like did all these things, and he shows how he built it. He shows what kind of like everything that goes into it, and everyone on every single comment is like, "Oh, this guy's gonna disappear real soon. Like, this poor guy's gonna be gone before we know it." Yeah. But it's so cool. Like he's literally creating plasma with just like a spinning. Like I can't explain
He's
it. I'm
making
not
a
smart
particle
enough.
accelerator.
Yeah. And it is the coolest thing ever, and it drove me into like another rabbit hole after I got through his account into plasma manipulation.
It's also so weird that you think that the smart people are always in the government doing big thing, but sometimes
Like
it's
scientists.
just man in garage.
This dude has been he's been an electrician for like 14 years, and then just started fucking around and created plasma in his fucking garage.
An electrician.
Yeah. That's why he always says it. He's like, I've been an electrician for this many years, and he's like, so I know what I'm doing when I mess with these electrical parts. Please don't do this at home.
He's not even an engineer,
And he's like,
and he's doing that.
and he's like, so when you do this kind of thing, and it literally, he's taking like a fan motor and using that kind of stuff. Like he's literally taking stuff from his garage and using it and making plasma out of it. Like,
That's why experience over fucking school.
yeah, it was so cool.
That's all it is. Experience over school.
And
That's all I'm gonna say.
It drove me into another rabbit hole of plasma manipulation, and that was like I forgot, like I kind of dabbled in it forever ago, but cold plasma, I forgot it's just like the best way to sterilize something, which was so cool because this guy did an experiment showing how he created the cold plasma using like helium or something like that, and
Well, that's not gonna happen anymore
yeah, for real,
because we ran out of helium.
no more.
Haven't ran out yet.
No
but
more balloons.
Almost.
No more rats either.
No more rats.
And
This guy.
he's a really good lawyer. I'm a really good lawyer. So, and he showed like the difference between using the hot plasma and cold plasma on a petri dish, which I thought was hilarious because it's obviously gonna melt the fucking petri dish.
Yeah.
And then I sat there and I texted Mom and I said, if Last of Us happens, all I need is a cold plasma like pen, I think I said, and a hot plasma pen, but big.
But big.
And I said, one of them for sterilizing wounds and the other one for killing zombies.
True. Yeah, imagine having a hot plasma sword.
It's
That's just a lightsaber.
yeah.
All right.
And that's like, it was so funny. And then I followed this guy's account into a deeper thing with ionic thrusters. They can make ionic, like you can levitate with these things where it's purely using
It's like
it's positive charged. I can't remember the exact thing.
positive.
Positive. But
See,
it
there's
has
the one we'll talk about.
has no motor. It literally is just this
Is it
super
just magnets?
wiry. It's not even magnets. Like the video blew my mind, and it was blowing enough to like, it knocked over a can and stuff like that. And it was just this one single one he built in his house. And I mean, he 3D printed parts, and like he knows what he's doing. But he was like on a bigger scale. This could be used as like a device to make you float or something like that. Like, and
Or something to fucking make a Wonder Waffle from COD Zombies. That's literally what that's gonna make.
and like he showed, he's like, someone beat me to the punch, and there's like one of like an actual, it's flying, like they're using it to like levitate around a room, and it was so cool. And it's just using like positively charged ions or something like that going through like it has to go a specific direction or something. And it showed, like, he was like, to show you the flow of the air, he's like, you can't see it because obviously it's air. And so he took dry ice and put it in the back of it, and you can see it sucking the gas from the dry ice into it. And then he did it the other way, and you can see it blowing it away from it. And then he was like measuring the amount of push that it has and like all sorts of cool stuff. And then then he turned the lights off, and you can see it glowing.
What?
It was so cool, and it was like a ominous neon type glow to it, and it's this all he just built this.
Yeah.
And like I said, he has a lot more experience with it, and he has the materials for it other than the guy in the garage. But it just started leading me through this thing, and I posted on my story. I was like, do you guys ever go down a rabbit hole where you start learning about plasma manipulation and ionic thrusters at all? And then from that, in the suggested, it took me back to the Kurzgesagt's quantum computer and quantum positioning and stuff like, and quantum tunneling and all this kind of stuff. And I just went down a whole, like, it was bad. And I just sat there and I was like, I'm never ever going to use any of this information in my life.
True, but it's a cool fact.
But it was a fun journey.
Yeah.
It was a good journey. It was very nice.
It's a cool thing to say at parties.
Yeah.
You know?
It's fun. It makes me seem smart.
Exactly.
Yeah. It makes me think I look like I know something.
What are we at, by the way?
We are, it's off. We're at a moose o'clock.
Oh, darn.
Moose. 52-ish.
Oh, okay. We're fine.
And that's my rant on that whole shindig.
The whole shindig.
And I think the next one I wanted to talk about was Star Wars. Inches. Which, by the way, I made a Star Wars beat last night.
I saw that.
So fire.
I saw in your story.
But it's pissing me off because the drums, it's a whole ordeal. And I wanted to talk about, and this goes for a lot of things with like a fan base, but the Star Wars fan base is so toxic.
Oh, yeah.
Because what's nice, though, is everyone's in agreement that they hate the new 3 movies that Disney did. They're bad. Even the actors themselves hate on it. Mark Hamill, the guy that played Luke, fucking hates them. He talks shit on them all the time, and it fucking kills me. Like, everyone just hates these movies because they fucked up the universe. And so everyone's in agreement on that, at least. And what I noticed is everyone had been hating on the prequels, right? Like Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I've seen 2 of the original Star Wars movies.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it hurts, but it's okay.
The only one I can remember is when Princess Leia was in nothing but her bra in front of Jabba the Hutt.
Jugga the Hutt.
Joga the butt.
And talk about Jug Jugga the Hutt. Princess Jugs in front of Jugga the Hutt.
Bring the jugs to Jugga the Hutt.
Shit, that's a job I'd like.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, that's the only thing else.
So the ones I'm talking about, Phantom Menace has Darth Maul, and it's where Anakin's a kid. Attack of the Clones is the introduction of all of the clones, and how the good guys acquire the clones, and then that's also the movie where Anakin kills not just the men but the women and children too. I don't know if you've heard that quote.
Yeah.
That's from that with this. So
The younglings.
yeah, that one's from Attack of the Clones, and then the last one is Revenge of the Sith, which is where Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. You know, that whole thing. I've got the high ground.
You underestimate me, my power.
So those three, like, everyone hated on them for the longest time, and then I never even knew that people hated them. I was like, these are the best fucking movies because it's got like the CGI is great, the fight scenes are insane, the storyline I thought was fantastic. Everyone hates on them.
I think the funniest thing I've ever seen of those is a TikTok where they legitimately used like a PowerPoint presentation.
Their transitions. Yeah, you
Transitions.
showed me that. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
old ones. Yeah,
It's like
and
that's funny.
and so then from that one it goes A New Hope, which is where Luke gets introduced to, and that's where like, help us Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. And then that goes to Empire Strikes Back, where the Death Star is introduced, I believe, in the Hoth fight where the cold shit. I haven't watched that one very many times, so that one's kind of off my radar. And then the last one is Return of the Jedi, where Luke and Darth Vader fight at the end. And so everyone hates on the prequels, and I fucking loved them. And so now there's a thing where everyone's like, oh, I just wish they would bring more from the prequels into like, and they're like, just flopped completely. Everyone used to hate the guy that played Anakin, which he did so fucking good. They just hated on him, and now ever since his return in the Obi-Wan series, they were like, oh, it's so good to see him back.
Yeah, he's like God on Earth.
Yeah,
now.
and then everyone's losing their shit over it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And that was my introduction into how fucking weird this was. And now it got led into lightsaber fights. So in all of these movies, the lightsaber fights have been pretty dope, right? And then the last three where Disney was doing it, the Jedi, like the Jedi Order, everyone where they would learn how to be a Jedi is gone. It's been gone for a very long time. No one's going to learn how to be a Jedi anymore. It's gone. And
then they just start doing flips and shit.
Well, no, it's quite the opposite.
Oh.
And so they were, and then even like the lightsaber battles are lacking. And like one of the characters was a stormtrooper, and he got his hand on a lightsaber and is fighting Kylo Ren. And like it's like a bad lightsaber scene, but he's not trained to fight. He's not a Jedi.
Yeah.
He's literally a stormtrooper with a lightsaber. Like, what the fuck do you expect from him? And then they were like, oh, but he could beat Kylo Ren. He was trained under Luke and all this kind of stuff. And like, which that part made sense. But the rest of it, where they're like, all these other lightsaber scenes are shit. Their fighting scenes are terrible compared to like the prequels and all that kind of stuff. And someone in the comments was like, well, the Jedi Order's gone. No one's training them how to fight, like actually fight with a lightsaber. So you can't really have a good fighting scene like that if no one's training them how to use it.
Fair.
Which makes sense, right?
That makes sense.
You know what the comment said?
Fuck you.
No, it said, oh, good, just another excuse to defend the sequels or something like that. And I was like, no, that's a legitimate thing.
That's fair.
And so now they're hating on it for a completely different reason. And so it blows my mind because they will hate on something and then love on something until a new thing comes out to hate.
Yeah.
Then they hate on that and then love the other one again.
Sounds about right.
And that's how it is with Marvel. You know,
Yeah.
like everything's the same with Marvel. You know, it's the
True.
exact same. I mean, at least with DC, everyone hates DC
Everyone
equally.
just hates fucking DC. Yeah, that is very true. Damn. That was a solid clap.
Ow.
Yeah, why?
I thought I would give it a try.
Fuck.
Ow. I would think it was out of habit. I really don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
That was out of
It's
habit.
probably
and then
habit.
it hurt
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, no.
Just talk about toxic fan bases. That was pretty. And I could go on for days about it, but
Oh, yeah.
just as a finisher, last night I was watching.
Finish him.
I was watching one of the series. Like Mandalorian has new episodes coming out every week, and Bad Batch from the Clone Wars has new episodes coming out every week.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a bunch of clones that were created like completely different. So there was like a really big buff one, and then there's one that's like he's like Rambo, like his senses are super fucking keen.
I think I just need to go home and watch Star Wars. Like,
I've been thinking about restarting everything because of the depth that I've gone into, because this is going to come back full circle, okay? So I was watching wait a second. And so I was watching one of the shows, and last night I was like, just loved. Something about it just got me really hyped.
Yeah.
So I went behind my TV and grabbed my lightsaber that I still have.
Nice.
And I'm also going to be getting an Obi-Wan tattoo. I've decided it's just going to be his lightsaber disassembled, like it's pulled apart, so you can see everything.
The exploded view of.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good.
And so I'm gonna get that somewhere, and so I pulled, and it's that lightsaber. It's Obi-Wan's lightsaber. So I was just like, this is fucking. Like, I was just holding it, you know. I was like, oh. And then by the end of the night, I've kind of just been letting myself do shit that was like that's cringy. So by the end of the night, I like got done watching the show, and I had like turned it off, and because it was a Friday night, and I mean, like I had said, I was making a beat out of Star Wars, so it hyped me up. Watched the show with Star Wars, hyped me up even more. Got my lightsaber. I am peak hype right now about Star Wars.
Carson is shirtless with his like Star Wars pajama bottoms. Just
Close. I was shirtless with my lightsaber
I
in
was
the
close.
mirror.
I was close.
And I was fucking doing the twirls and shit, making the noises, going, and I was going,
no, on God, I'll still do it.
and then I was doing like the poses. Like I was like, how does that look? Like, like I just started doing these out of nowhere for fun.
Okay, but here's the thing. I pick up the sword in my closet. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, same with my sword. I'm just.
Fuck, Kai! The button!
So
What my roommate hears at 2 a.m.
he's like, oh no.
Button!
Yeah, spiritual pressure. And then, so what had happened that really just exploded everything onto this is not only from the show, and I bought the Lego set and everything, is I was diving into it, and I had this very valid question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Who created the first?
Do it, fart.
Do it, fart. Do it, too. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Oh! Full circle, baby! Get fucked. We're good at this.
But I who created the first lightsaber? You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to know. I dove in because there's actual lore outside of the actual movies and the shows and what's been like written, like what's actually canon in this universe and whatnot.
I've been trying to think of the name of the creator of the Omnitrix, so I can tell you that.
It was him.
I was like, it's gotta be that guy.
No, it wasn't. It was just Ben 10.
Oh,
It was just Ben 10. Yeah.
No, it was
It was his uncle.
his grandpa.
Yeah. Oh, grandpa. That's what it was.
Grandpa Max.
Grandpa. It was uncle. It was Uncle Grandpa.
Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben's rice.
And so I was like, who created that? Like, I want to know because there's like before all of the movies, there's like High Republic and like the Old Republic, and they look like so sick. Like their lightsabers look just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It was the height of Jedi. So cool. So I looked at that, no answers, and then I started diving into like the Reddit things.
Oh, love Reddit.
Couldn't find a fucking answer. And then like J.J. Abrams like made like a what he would assume would be like the first lightsaber, and it was like a kyber crystal wrapped with something that somehow worked. And then everyone in the YouTube comments, because they were talking about, everyone in the YouTube comments was like, I don't think he knows what a lightsaber is. I don't think he knows how a lightsaber works.
I don't
man.
think he knows how this works.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then I started going into like Yoda is like hundreds and hundreds of years old in the show or in the movies, and so I was like, well, then who was his master? Because that guy's got to be even older.
An older, greener, smaller dude.
It was Kermit.
Kermit the Frog fucking trained
It's with
Yoda.
with the hood.
Yeah,
meme.
exactly. He trained Yoda. That's so sick.
So I was like, who trained Yoda? And it showed up with this weird guy. He's got like a snake body and like 4 arms. It was really cool. And I was like,
It was
shit.
Ben 10.
It was Ben 10.
Oh my God! Full circle.
And I was like, okay, but then who trained him? So I looked that up.
Who trained Ben 10?
And there's no answer. And I'm getting pissed because I'm like, why there are so many nerds out there in Star Wars, so many people that are that live the lore of Star Wars.
True.
You know what I mean? Like they're like the furries of the Star Wars universe where they think they're a Jedi kind of thing. Like that gets into that depth. How have they not figured something like that out or like created something in that way?
Yeah, it's like make your own story. I don't know.
And
Fan
so I
fictions.
was getting upset. I was like, why am I not finding the answers to this? And like I was diving into these questions, and I even asked my cousin, he's not as bad as those ones, but he's deep into it in a cool way, where he just knows some of these answers.
In a cool way.
In a cool
I
way.
swear.
He wears
He's
he
not-
wears aviators all the time. He's got a toothpick and a leather jacket.
He has motorcycle. He's dope as fuck. I swear.
He stands with his knee up and with the leg against the wall all the time.
Yeah, he
No.
doesn't. He doesn't say like a pussy bitch.
Me and him when we were kids. He's the one out in Texas. I used to bring my lightsabers on a trip with me out there.
Yeah,
Don't know how I got that shit past TSA though, dog.
bro.
Fuck.
This guy, he's going through packing that.
And I would bring them with me on my trips, and we would go out there, and we would literally practice routines. It was the coolest thing. Like, how I remember it, we would even do the scenes where, like, you would go bam, bam, and then behind the back, and then, like it was, we were to a T with
You guys
these.
had a choreography.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I would go out there for the 4th of July like I do now, and I would...
You should just show up this year
or-
with 2
just-
lightsabers.
Dual time, baby.
Except you get the real lightsaber from Hacksmith Industries. That's just a fucking flame torch.
I'll just buy a NeoPixel for the $1 million that they cost, dude. Jesus. But they...
find an old Elon Musk flamethrower.
My old lightsaber that we both had the same one, and you could change the colors, so green, red, and
Nice.
blue, and I don't think purple was on there. R.I.P. Mace Windu. Sorry about that, my man. Samuel L. Jackson, your lightsaber's dope, but I don't think the toys covered it. So, and you could change the colors, and at one point it was so cool because we would be fighting as it was like a blue and green situation, and then I would switch mine to red, and then we'd just start going fucking crazy with it, and like it was so cool, and we got into that shit. We would I still have it. It's an R2D2 that like you can voice command to do things.
Fuck yeah.
So it's under my bed.
Also, I just want to bring up those lightsaber toys. They made them so shitty.
Oh, bad.
You know that kids are gonna be hitting them
And they're
and
gonna
like
break.
trying to have a lightsaber fight. They're gonna break in
Yeah.
a matter of minutes.
Yep.
They never made a good fucking lightsaber toy that wasn't under $1,000.
Yeah. And they like anyway, it was so much fun doing that with him, and so it just kept progressing. So one of the other years I went over there, and he had a full AT-AT walker, which is like those giant 4-legged machines that were walking everywhere.
Yeah.
It was one of those, and he had like the clones that were deploying out of it and stuff. He had the games, and then we started watching the Clone Wars when it came out, and we just started getting further and further into it as like just as we were growing up, completely different states doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And when I went over there, he even has just like the actual books and stuff like that. He's into it, and we both like have so much fun talking about it all the time. So, and for my birthday, he got me a Star Wars Lego set while I was out there.
Good shit.
And then for one of my birthdays when I was out there, they got me Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber.
That's cool.
And I think Caleb has it upstairs. And I said, if you ever try to get rid of this, I want it back. Okay? Capiche?
Capiche,
I want
buddy?
it back. And what?
I was gonna make a loud noise, and I'm like, I don't need to make a loud noise right
I don't
now.
need to do that.
That's not something I have to do.
And so I texted him, and I was like, do you know the answer maybe? And he just put me on the same path that I was already on, but he told me it was the Knights of the Old Republic or something, but it was in an abbreviation. So I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. I'll go check it out. And I Googled it, and I was like, oh, I was already there. I was already going through that. And then he was like talking about like the books and stuff like that. And then he told me something, and I was just scrolling through more Instagram stuff because usually some weird person will have some shit on there, you know, one of the fan pages. And I found one of a clone, or not a clone, a stormtrooper with like its mask cut like down in half, and it was like bleeding out, and it looked like a zombie stormtrooper.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That'd be sick.
a whole movie of just a ship on Star Wars. You're not even leaving the ship, okay?
Yeah.
You can get like the outer view of the ship or something like that. You're not leaving the ship, and it is just a zombie virus in space, and it's purely stormtroopers against other stormtroopers and everyone inside this giant ship. And I was like, that would be so sick.
That would be fucking
Then you
awesome.
have people like coming to the ship, like, what the fuck is this abandoned giant Empire ship doing out here? And they see all of these dead fucking stormtroopers, and like, then you see some of them walking around, and the reveal on one of them is like one of them turning around, and the like things cut in half, and you can see his jaw and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, why has that not happened?
Seriously.
What the fuck? A horror movie in the Star Wars universe with zombies and it would be perfect.
It would be fucking cool.
So I texted him, and I was like, oh, why hasn't this happened? And he's like, there's books, buddy.
Ooh.
He's like, there's books, and
There's
they're pretty. He's
books.
like, I have one. They're good. And I was like, fuck, I gotta get in on that.
Yep.
And I even had a book when I was a kid about like some of the early stuff, like, you know, like I was talking about Phantom Menace, is when Obi-Wan was a Padawan, so he was younger. His master was Qui-Gon, and that was Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
And I had a book of when he first started training with Qui-Gon, and I think I got rid of it somehow. I'm like a fucking idiot.
I know. I do that all the time. It's like, if I would have kept that, God fucking
So many
dang.
things. How many times do we talk about our Omnitrix that we don't have anymore?
Yeah.
God, dude. So sad.
Fucking hell.
Also, didn't realize how many times in the show that he loses that fucking thing.
I know.
What the hell?
Something that's stuck to your goddamn wrist. How
How?
the fuck do you lose this so many times, you dumb piece of shit?
Fucking ridiculous.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Loser.
Loser.
I feel like that Star Wars talk was the equivalent of Jeep talk, and I am very sorry.
I feel like it's fine.
But it was just like it was a whole thing that I just went through for the past couple of days, like this week, and I'll stop talking about it.
This became your Jeep thing.
I will shut up.
Well, on that note,
Stuff, things.
stuff and things. If you're on YouTube, good job. If you're not on YouTube already, why don't you hop on over to YouTube for me? Why don't you hit that subscribe button? Maybe hit that like. Maybe leave a comment. Post notifications. They should be on. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you want to be on the pod. I think it's about time we got a guest on here. But yeah, thank you guys. Have a good rest of your week. Be safe. Don't do some dumb shit or you'll fuck around and find out.
Bye.
Thank you and good night.
Also, this is me. So Nick's that artist, right? That one beat that I made with me skating, he.
Is this going in the pod or can we?
Yeah, no, it will.
Oh,
It'll be at the end thing.
okay, gotcha.
So, that skate I put on my story, and he sent me a voice note that said, send this to me. And I was like, fucking bet, dude. So I got home, and I like mixed it a little better and got the volumes a little better, sent it to him, and he sends me a voice note back going, I have it still. He goes, holy shit, bro. Like, he's like, this is literally the most fire thing I've heard in a minute, dude.
Good
And he's like going off about
shit.
how good it was. And I saved it because I think I'm going to ask him if I could sample him saying that and use it into an intro for a beat.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Hard as fuck.
That would be pretty fucking sick.
And then one of the other voice notes he sent me was of him freestyling. This is so bad. I was lying. Was him freestyling over it, like already right off the bat. And I was like, fuck. And he was like, he slid up on our story and said that we were funny as fuck. One of the other people that was talking about it. And he said, dude, I really want to get on this podcast so bad. And I was like,
okay.
well, yeah, I told him, I was like, we got the third mic working, dude. It can happen.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to tell Cade, just to let you know.
Yeah.
But he's really cool. Fucking,
I'm down.
yeah.
Let's
I
get
think
him
it'd
on.
be fun to talk about music and stuff like that. Right
Pitch in.
before we cut this for reals, I want to say, for the cruise, I think we bag them up. I think you should do one with like a guest and you.
Wait,
for
what?
one of the episodes, like when I'm gone for the cruise, like we're gonna
Oh.
record before, right?
Yeah.
But I think one of them, even though I'll be here, you should just do a guest and you,
Okay.
because I did an episode all by myself that one time.
It's true. You did do that.
Then we could just get you and someone, you know, like any of the people that I'm not familiar with. We can just get you on with one of them,
It's true.
and we can bag it for while I'm gone,
True.
or we can even bag it for some other time if we want to do one earlier than that, you know.
We should do that. We
Right.
need to get one or two to bag.
So in case something happens.
Yeah.
So
That's a
I
good
think
idea.
some of these where like I said for the cruise, we could just, you know.
We'll get it figured
Yeah.
out.